Hello, my fellow Olympians, and welcome to the 12 Labors of Heracles. Hello, lovely bookworms. I'm Esmay from Paradise Pages on Instagram and also on Twitter, and welcome to this very exciting video. Today it is time for me to announce this year's theme of GreekGodAThon. We first did GreekGodAThon in 2022 and I think we had the Pandora round in that same year. There was no GreekGodAThon last year, but it is back this year. And as you've already seen at this point, it is the 12 labors, or the labors of Heracles. So this time around we will be having teams, and we are going to complete these 12 labors of Heracles to help him gain his freedom back. And we don't have as many teams as we had last time, but we still have 3 amazing teams. And let's just introduce my co-hosts, my co-gods with you. So we're doing the big 3. So we're doing Hades, Poseidon, and Zeus. And first and foremost, we have Hades. And for Hades, I've asked Femke, of course, to join me, and she once again is going to be Hades' team coach, leader. Then second up, we have Poseidon, and for that one I actually asked Gabriela to join me. We've done some I think it's read-alongs together, and I've really enjoyed that, so I've asked her to be my second host. Then lastly we have Zeus, and once more I'm gonna be taking over for Team Zeus. I actually got that team the first time around, and it is only fair that I once again am Team Zeus. You actually have to sign up, and you have to track your books via the Google Forms. The sign up sheet is down below, so I do recommend you to immediately sign in if you know which team you're going to be joining. The tracker will be online once the readathon starts. That said, there's a couple of things like last time that I want to go over. So we have 12 labors, meaning we're doing 12 prompts. We then have a perk for every single team. And we also have 6 separate labors per team to continue and to finish in order for you to finish the readathon. And then lastly, I want to talk about the point system. So let's just go over those step by step and start with all 12 of the labors and its prompts. So as I said, we have 12 labors. Heracles actually did 12 labors in order to finally get his freedom back, and we are doing all 12 with prompts. So the first one is actually the slaying of the Nemean lion, and for that one, considering a lion is always seen as a brave animal, we actually have the prompt to read a book about a hero. So for this one, this can be whatever you want it to be. If it is you follow the main protagonist who is heroic, or if it's a true hero, it can be whatever you want it to be. I think it's important to note that you can twist these prompts as long as they fit your reading style best, so the rules are not very strict about that. Then for the second labor, we actually have to slay the 9-headed Lernaean Hydra, and considering a Hydra has multiple heads, for this one you actually have to read a book with multiple point of views. This can be whichever way it is, so it can be just step by step, having different point of views. It can be a point of view at the end of the book. As long as there's multiple sides of the story, you're fine with this. Then our third labor will be capturing this, I can't pronounce this to save my life, Cyrenian hind. And considering this hind is impossibly fast and rumored to be the fastest there is, for this one you have to read a fast-paced book. This can be whatever is a fast-paced book to you. It can be a huge book that takes you a long time to finish if you think the reading will be very quick and swift. And for that, this one's pretty broad. That will be our third labor complete. Then number 4 will be capturing the Erymanthian boar, and for this one, considering the boar was actually chased off into a cold climate in order to capture it, you will have to read a cold book. So this can be a polar fantasy, something about the North Pole, something with snow or ice or cold. It is very broad once again, and you can just pick and choose what would fit one of your books. Then for number 5, we have to clean the Aegon stables in a single day, and for this we will have to read a book that has anything to do with water. Considering Heracles actually managed to clean the stables by changing some of the rivers that flow, I thought having a book with everything to do with water would be a good choice for this. Then number 6 is gonna be slaying the Symphalian birds. And for this, I actually really like this prompt. For this, you have to read a book that has anything or a word from the periodic table. So that means you could read books such as Iron Flame, or something along the lines iron or gold or silver, copper, whatever is on that table, I'm sorry, is fine. So that is going to be number 6. Number 7 is going to be capturing the Cretan bull, and for this you have to read a book that is all about nature. That can be in its contents, that can be in the way the book looks, that is up to you, but something that has to do all with nature. Number 8 will be stealing the mares of Diomedes, and for this one you actually have to find a book with an animal on the cover. Considering we're stealing horses here, I think it's logical that we read a book that has some type of animal on the cover. It doesn't have to be a horse, just a regular animal. Number 9 is going to be obtaining the girdle of Hippolyta, and for this one you have to read a book that has some type of journey. This preferably should be a journey traveled, but if you want to read a book that has personal journey, that's okay too. I would prefer for you to go for the first one, so physical journey from one place to the next. Then number 10 is going to be obtaining the cattle of the three-bodied giant Geryon. And for this one you have to read a book that you are highly anticipating to read. This can be something that's been on your TBR for a very long time and you haven't picked up, or just something that has recently been published and you're really excited to read. It can be whatever you want it to be, but that is going to be number 10. So for number 11 we have to steal the golden apples of Hesperides. And for this you have to read a book that has a fruit or a food on the cover. I am quite aware that a fruit is a food, but either or, preferably fruit, but if it's not fruit and it is any other type of food, that is fine as long as it is on the cover. It does not matter how big it is, it just has to be visibly there. And then number 12, our final labor, and that's going to be capturing and bringing back Cerberus. And for this one, considering this is our final labor to complete, you have to read a book that has been on your TBR for a long time. This has to be at least a year. Other than that, you're good, but at least a year. And yeah, hopefully that will help you get one of those books there that you have been meaning to read for a long time but have not yet picked it up. This is your drive to finally pick that book up. So those are all 12 of our labors, and all 12 of these have their very own specific prompts. Some of them are a bit harder than others, but I think it's a fair mix. And as I said, all of the gods do also have a perk. So next up, let's just go into the perks of the 3 of the gods. So 3 of my gods, us 3, we have decided to help you with a single perk. And for the first one, for Hades, that is going to be the help of Cerberus. And considering Cerberus is 3-headed, you are allowed to pick up 3 of the prompts that are assigned to your god and replace them with 3 other ones. So that can be whatever you want to be, but that helps you figure out which prompts you want to read. And second up, Poseidon. Poseidon, he will lend you his trident, and with that you can actually scratch away one of the prompts assigned to your god and make up one all on your own. And lastly, Zeus. I will actually be giving you my lightning bolt for this one, and by using the lightning bolt you're actually able to pick and choose all 6 of your prompts whichever way you want them. So those are all of the perks, and with that you also have to choose one of us to partake in their team. and you are actually only allowed to use that perk once, but I'll come back to a couple of specific things at the end. Then of course for the labors that you will have to complete depending on the team. So the very first one will be Hades, and the following will have to be completed by a Hades team member. You have to slay the Nemean lion, capture the Cyrenian hind, clean the stables, slay the Sicilian birds, steal the mares of Diomedes, and obtain the girdle of Hippolyta. Of course, Hades is not going to steal his own dog. If you are in Team Poseidon, you will have to complete the following labors. Slay the Nemean lion, capture the Erymanthian boar, slay the Sicilian birds, obtain the cattle of Geryon, steal the golden apples, and capture Cerberus. And lastly, for Zeus, for my team, you will have to do the following 6. You have to slay the Hydra, capture the Cyrenian hind, capture the Erymanthian boar, slay the Sicilian birds, capture the Cretan bull, and capture Cerberus. So now that you know which labors you are about to complete, I thought I would talk a bit about the point system. So there are approximately 4 points, different kinds of points to attribute. And the first one is going to be if you complete a prompt that is assigned to you, and that is going to be 10 points. So say for example you're in my team, you actually complete one of those labors, you will get 10 points. If you manage to complete a prompt that is outside of your team, so outside of the ones that you've picked, you will obtain 5 points. And then there's 2 types of points that will be added on top. The first one is 3 points, and that means if you try your hand at a labor a second time, you'll get an additional 3 points. I do have to say that this is only allowed once you've finished all the 12 and then go again. And lastly, the 2 points, those will be awarded additionally if you manage to read a book that has mythology, can be whichever type you want, doesn't have to be Greek, preferable of course, or if you read a book about Greece. If the book has both of those, that is still only 2 points. So it's a general rule, if you read either or, 2 points total added. I think the point system is quite logical and you should be able to calculate your points pretty easily. If you don't, we always have a Discord channel. I will have all of those open soon and you can always ask me which amount of points it would be. I think it's pretty okay to calculate, but if it's not, just let me know and I will help you out. Okay, so a couple of tiny rules before we end this video. I do have to say that you are only able to get 10 points for 6 of the labors that you've completed. So even if you use a prompt and a perk and switch out a couple of ones, those are still those 6 that you get 10 points for, and then there's 6 that you get 5 points for. You also have to complete all 12 of those first before you're allowed to go for a second go. And once that's true, then you will start again with your 10 and your 5 points. However, every single book that you read in the second round also gets you an additional 3 points. So it is either 13 or 8. Books cannot be doubled up this time, so I'm sorry about that, but they cannot. That said, I believe that is everything that there is to know. A couple of side notes, there is a link to the Twitter and the Discord down below if you would like to join us there. The most important thing, and I think I'm gonna also sort of add this clip in the beginning, you actually have to sign up and you have to track your books via the Google Forms. The sign up sheet is down below, so I do recommend you to immediately sign in if you know which team you're going to be joining. The tracker will be online once the readathon starts. That said, that is everything I think there is to know about the readathon. I'm so excited to get into March again and do an entire month of reading. My TBR for this is also coming pretty soon, so you have a little bit of an idea of how I've interpreted the prompts, but I think they should be fine. If you have a question whether a book is allowed or not, then just send me a message somewhere, Discord, Twitter, whatever is fine, and I will let you know. You can also comment it down below, so whenever someone's debating it, they can see. And that is everything. I want to thank you so much for your patience, and we are back. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to our channel and press that little bell icon so you get post notifications every single time that we post. And I hope to see you all in the next one. Bye!